everyone. It's your Valley girl, Brianne Lazinski, reporting from the depths of Canadian winter here. And no, this is not an outdoor midwinter exercise video, but maybe it should be. I don't know. The headband kind of is a giveaway, but it actually is an astrology report. And I'm so excited to talk about the new moon in Capricorn happening on January 11th. It's a big month astrologically, and I'm just so sincerely stoked. First off, I'm offering $50 off of session price from now until the end of January. So if you're interested in sitting down with me and having a personal reading, I would be honored to do that with you. So yeah, visit my website, check it all out. I am going to dive into the Grand Cardinal Cross. Just first and foremost, I'm a very cardinal person. I'm Pluto in the 4th, lunar nodes in the 1st and 7th. It's my jam. And I am so excited to see such a beautiful Grand Cardinal Cross here in this new moon chart. And what I want to say about the Cardinal Cross is that relating with the self and others and everything, it's always on a learning curve with our innermost emotions and how we show up in the world. You know, if I was to bring it down into one sentence, that's what I would bring down the Cardinal Cross into one sentence. So what do we have? We've got the moon in the sign of Capricorn, conjunct Pluto, opposing Pluto's north node in Cancer. So it's a grand cross because I'm including Pluto's north node. With, and that is squaring the lunar nodes, okay? Having the courage to keep coming back to processing emotions rather than repressing or bypassing them is so healing for the collective evolutionary trajectory. So, if you are feeling your emotions, good job. You're doing the hard work. Your service to yourself and the collective is celebrated here on my funny little YouTube channel. The South Node in Libra, where we are reviewing or reliving or both our unhealthy relational dynamics and seeing the wounds to our individuality and what it costs to the self to endure all that. North Node, Aries, conjunct Chiron, obviously brings up emotions, grief, anger, etc. Now, I would like to read you a couple of paragraphs from one of the best books I've ever read. It's going to be backwards, but The Smell of Rain on Dust. Okay? Holy moly, it is so cold right now. It's never windy here, and it's windy right now, and this is just so Aquarian. Yeah, it might be too windy for me to do this actually, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Self-pity is a much easier route and more common. So he's talking about the loss of something, okay? Self-pity is a kind of spiritual fire retardant that keeps our losses from metabolizing into life through grief and turns the self-righteous passive rage we harbor against fate for dealing us a rough hand into a slow burning war against ourselves, whose self-violence spites anyone who dares to love us and wants us to be happy. It's a love killer. Maintaining an official national or tribal identity as a victimized culture or people gives one's enemy a power they never had. and turns us into allies with what caused our losses in the first place. A people frozen into being important for never having been able to praise the bigger picture of life that contains loss. Ooh. Ouch. I don't know about you, but that hit me like a ton of bricks. And need I say more? I don't think so. I think everything else that I'm about to say is going to inform the main point of that message. So, I'm talking about the moon south node being in Libra, where we are reviewing or reliving these relational dynamics, right, that have been repeating in our life. And Pluto in the anaretic degree, the final degree of Capricorn, still within orb of that skipped step, squaring the moon's nodes, has caused a reckoning with the power dynamics therein. These relationships, both presently and ancestrally. And while the transpersonal planets, we've got Uranus, who's in Taurus, Neptune in Pisces, Saturn in Pisces, while those are also where they are, we are seeing that societal structures are being exposed for what they are, and they are crumbling against the sustainability test. One thing is clear, collectively, we will be very challenged if we continue going on the way we have, maintaining the status quo. There are a lot of people, primarily in positions of power, who are working very hard to keep on with keeping on, continuing to oppress people as a means to an end of having power. When this recipe for power is utilized, it's always a power over dynamic. So it's people oppressing people in order to have power over them. So there is equal challenge in continually maintaining the status quo as there is in changing it. Again, with Pluto in the final degree of Capricorn, about to enter Aquarius on January 20th, challenge is inevitable. Any oppressed person can provide a long list of challenges they experience on a daily basis, as well as a list of challenges they experience on their empowerment journey. With Pluto entering Aquarius, and it is going to dip back briefly into Capricorn later this year, but really this is like ushering in the Aquarian age, yeah? Possible solutions to challenges are begging to be experimented with. No more sitting, waiting, wishing for societal, structural, social changes. Calling all hippies, misfits, and prophets who have been saying that society's structures must crumble in order for us to rise up and build anew. Guess what? The time is now. The time is now to be an activist. Are you ready? Have you been preparing? What you got? What are you coming to the table with? As a social worker, I'm trained to look at societal structures and see the gaps where people can fall through and therefore miss out on receiving services that they need. And what I'm noticing is that what maybe 10 years ago was a crack in the system is now a gaping hole. A quickly changing chasm on the shoreline that gets thrashed by the waves as the tides rise and fall. As social services as the social services safety net constricts and becomes smaller and supports less and less people every day, we are forced to ask questions such as, what does it take to support myself, others, and what constitutes real and ethical support? These are the very questions that brought me to broadcasting my face on YouTube in the first place. I have some pretty good ideas, but I want to know what your ideas are. I want us to work together on this, you know? I don't have all the answers. Nobody does. If we're honest with ourselves, nobody really knows what the heck we're doing right now. Yet there is so much to explore. So, in an interview with Gabor Mate, when he was asked about hope, he said that he prefers the word possibility because in everything there is the possibility for change. What an Aquarian statement. Pluto in Aquarius will blast open our scope of possibilities. Right now, we may be getting premonitions about what is possible, for better or for worse. With the North Node in Aries conjunct Chiron at the same time of this powerful ingress into Aquarius, Pluto's ingress, the journey of what's possible is dependent upon one's bravery to initiate their own path, medicine, or bodily wisdom. With this new moon in Capricorn squaring the moon's nodes, there may very well be hesitation hinged on, but what will people say? Am I actually safe to do this? And I recognize that these are very real questions. And the way to not fully subjugate ourselves and to stop bypassing our own power, agency, and authority within and onto ourselves, we must ask, is it possible for one to create safety and protection needed in order to initiate one's own path, medicine, service to the world? I think so. I think it's a necessary learning curve right now. I think we can't wait for the environmental conditions to be just right in order to free ourselves to be us. Create these conditions for yourself. No one else is going to do it for you. Whatever themes of repetitious wounding are coming up, again, Chiron on the North Node, therein lies the recipe for upgraded self-protection mechanisms. By observing how we have responded to these repetitious wounds, there is opportunity to discern if we have been protecting ourselves from defense mode, being stuck in some sort of trauma response, or if we have been proactively self-protecting from an authentic and empowered place. For example, a defense mode stuck in trauma response, self-protection can be dissociation, right? If I'm not in my body, you can keep knocking, but nobody's home. And the intelligence of the body and the nervous system is so vast that this is a legitimate way of self-protection. It's just not helpful. The natural shift towards proactively protecting the self includes choices pertaining to who we spend time with, self-expression of needs, setting oneself up for success by aligning environmental factors with safety, for example, having an exit route. And this is just to name a few. Obviously, it depends on the particular person and situation. Another shape that jumped out at me in this new moon chart is a grand earth trine involving the moon in Capricorn, Uranus in Taurus, and Juno in Virgo. So starting with Juno, in this relationship review, being self-critical for how we related is easy to do. Just be careful not to base that on a foundation of shame, okay? Because personal growth can't happen in a toxic environment. And shame is one of the most common factors of a toxic environment. The antidote is self-love and compassion. And with Uranus and Taurus retrograde, the opportunity to feel the effects of our relating patterns on our nervous system. Woo-hoo. Yeah. Getting acquainted with one's own nervous system is so key to healing. The body's got to be on board. Doing all the mental gymnastics disconnected from the body is actually a form of hypervigilance. And trying to heal from that place is like sending your soul on a vicious merry-go-round where you just keep on repeating the patterns over and over and over again. It's very frustrating. So, I am so excited that, oh my gosh, it is so exciting that Pluto, I'm just nerding out hardcore right now, but I don't even care. Pluto is entering Aquarius, and Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is retrograde in Taurus, like, hallelujah. How do I even say that? I don't know. Anyways, it's just great. I'm so excited for the pioneering somatic work that is about to unfold while Pluto is in Aquarius. I am going to be diving into it myself this year. I already have been, and I'm really excited. I'm going to keep y'all updated when I'm officially adding this to my services. Obviously, if y'all have been listening to my videos, I come from a very trauma-informed, bodily wisdom, somatic place, and I'm gonna nerd out even harder on it this year, and I'm gonna embody it even more this year, and I'm so excited to share in this medicine with you all. And I just really feel like there has been so many advancements in this space in the last 5 years, and I'm just like filled with so much excitement and anticipation for what this new knowledge is going to how it's going to propel us forward into finding creative solutions to the problems that we face, societally, personally, environmentally. So, yeah. Okay. Mars, the ruler of the North Node, is in Capricorn, exactly trine Jupiter in Taurus, and opposing Jupiter's North Node in Cancer, and sextile Saturn. So let's start with Mars in Capricorn, okay? So this is like having limits placed on one's desires. It's like, oh yeah, you want to go in that direction? You're gonna have to jump over this roadblock, put your big person pants on, and grow up. Oh, and it's gonna take a lot of work to get there. So it's kind of like this damper on the desire, you know? Sextiling Saturn in Pisces is like, and so what's real anyways? How do you know? Sure, see if it passes the float test of meaningful contributions to society. Sure, give it a go. It's like, yeah, I will. Trining Jupiter in Taurus. Big dreams come true when you are in your body. Opposing Jupiter's North Node in Cancer. The maturity you need to really go for your desires in an authentic and meaningful way comes with the commitment to your relationship with your inner child and allowing your emotional intelligence to inform the actions you take. Also, something that I want to highlight is the fact that Hygeia, asteroid Hygeia, who is all about clearing out the skeletons in the closet, really doing that deep clean, that cleansing purge, it's different than the Chiron purge, but it is certainly a deep clean. She is conjunct Saturn, who's ruling this new moon, who's ruling Pluto at the anaretic degree of Capricorn, and those two are sextile Jupiter and Taurus, okay? And so we've got Hygeia doing the hard work of this major clear out of society's old structures. The constraints of the Pisces age have got to go. And honestly, we couldn't have asked for a better energy to be accompanying Saturn, holding space for Pluto leaving Capricorn after 20 years and moving into Aquarius. I love how these goddess asteroids are so supportive. Doesn't mean it's easy, it just means there's support. And sextiling Jupiter in Taurus, this is meaningful because our survival depends on it. So when everyone's like, wow, this is such a big astrological time, like we're ushering in the age of Aquarius, yes. And people are like, well, why is it so special? And I'm just like, because our survival depends on it. Ruled by Uranus and Taurus, right? Okay. The last thing that I want to mention is Venus. She is in Sagittarius. She is conjunct Uranus's nodes and opposing Medusa, okay? So she's stirring up within our individuated unconscious distortions of the masculine and feminine. These distortions that came into play to serve patriarchal religious control. Pisces age. In the Aquarian age we are ushering in, we will be sifting through these patriarchal conditions that have distorted both the masculine and the feminine. Patriarchy has deeply wounded both men and women. Objectivity helps to bring these distortions and wounds out from the shadows and into the light. Changing up the gender roles is an ongoing experience that will help in actually understanding the healthy function of masculine and feminine. I am so cold, and I also need to go. So, thank you so much for listening. I will see you when we talk about the full moon. I'm wishing you a beautiful, beautiful time this month, an invigorating time, an exciting time. I'm hoping that energy is being, pumped back into your bloodstream. And on January 20th, have a bit of a